Let me try this again. We are back, everyone. Welcome to a miracle of a community that cares. My name is Zach Clayton with Community Pay It Forward, Community Dare to Care, and the PAC channel. We are also broadcasting today on our friends at Things Network. I want to thank Jeremy and the whole cast at Things for allowing us to do this. One of the reasons why we're doing this, and this is going to be a pretty heavy hour, a couple hours, I'm sorry. Um, One of the reasons why we're doing this is because we want to educate and we want to make sure that people understand that even though this is a season of joy, there's a lot of pain this time of year. Hence, that's the reason why we're doing this. So we can remember that there are people who are really hurting right now, and maybe we can find a way to help them recover, help them find a way that they can celebrate or something that they can celebrate, help them to move forward in their own life while we make sure that we don't fix them or that we we have to make sure that we accept their pain, because their pain is not, it's something that we may not understand, but that doesn't mean that it's not real. So, this first segment, one of the things that we were trying to do is get people to talk about their holiday celebrations. Unfortunately, there were not a lot of takers for it for this year, so I'm just going to go through a list, and this is a pretty extensive list, but I will guarantee you this is not everything. Okay, so if we missed anything, please don't get mad at us. Help us. Help us by next year either being a guest or come on the show and talk about your holiday, or you can just write us an email, send us the information, and by golly, next year we will include this information. We want people to understand your holiday, your family's holiday, how you celebrate. This is very important to us. Very important to us. We want to make sure that we understand how everyone celebrates, what they celebrate, and why it's important for them culturally, personally, religiously. I want to know these things. It's extremely important to me. So if we missed something, please contact us. All my information is in the scroll at the very bottom of the page. All you have to do is take and scan that, or you can take and scan this QR code right here, and not that one. Sorry, this one right here. And if you scan this QR code, it'll go to my for my card, which is my digital business card. For my card is one of our wonderful Community Pay It Forward giving partners. Anytime that you order your digital business card, you can donate to a cause you support. So we're going to start off with the most celebrated one, and of course, that is Christmas Day. Christmas Day. It's always celebrated on December 25th. The historical background: it is a Christian holiday. First recorded celebration of Christmas dates back to 336 CE. And yes, I am going to be culturally proper here. So, CE, during the Roman Empire, by Constantine. Many people don't know this, but Constantine was the emperor that switched, that really made that push to switch the Romans from paganism to Christianity. A Christian convert. And yeah, he played a huge role in institutionalizing the celebration. The date was chosen to coincide with the existing pagan festivals such as Saturnalia and Sol Invictus, making it easier for pagans to adopt Christianity. I also think it has a little to do with, if you want someone to shut up about something, you put something else in its place. Percentage of global celebrations: approximately 31% of the world's population identifies as Christian, and many non-Christians also participate in secular Christmas traditions. The significance of Christmas is it celebrates the birth of Jesus Christ, believed to be the Son of God. Sorry, of God in Christian theology. It also represents love, salvation, and fulfillment of a divine prophecy. Again, keywords there: love, um, fulfillment, and if you want, salvation as well. I would also, the most important aspects for Christians: attending church services is a huge part of Christmas. Reflecting on the birth of Christ is central. And for secular observers, family gatherings and the spirit of giving takes precedence. So I know my personal family, when we were younger, yes, we went to church. We didn't do it every year, but my parents, being very Christian, they did like to make sure that, the old saying, put Christ in Christmas. This was something important to them. This is the way that we were raised. So I know that there is a huge percentage of the world that just celebrates, hey, this is a day to get new stuff. I'm not going to bash you. I mean, this here proves that this may not be your thing. This is 8 pages, folks. 8 pages. Hanukkah is our next celebration. And something I didn't know until today: the dates vary on Hanukkah. It's not a set thing. I thought it was a set thing. I didn't know. This year, it starts December 25th through Thursday, January 2nd. So this year, Hanukkah actually falls during this program, which to me is just awesome. It's great. It kind of shows what we were trying to do. The historical background: Hanukkah is also known as the Festival of Lights, commemorates the Maccabean Revolt, 167 to 160 BCE, and the rededication of the Second Temple in Jerusalem. The miracle of the oil, and our friend Esther was talking about this. The miracle of the oil that burned for 8 days, despite only enough for one, is central to the celebration. A percentage of the global celebrations is about 2% of the world identifies as Jewish, with Hanukkah being widely celebrated within the Jewish community. The significance, and this is the important part, represents the triumph of faith, perseverance, and the divine intervention that ensured the survival of the Jewish traditions. The most important aspects: lighting of the menorah, which is the piece of the celebration, symbolizing the miracle of the oil and enduring spirit of Judaism. So this, now again, this explains to me why there are 8 candles, because there was enough oil for 1 day of burning, yet it burned for 8 days. So see, again, these are things I didn't know. I had no idea about. And that's why this drive, the miracle, is so important to me, because I love to be educated on stuff like this. The one thing that I do think is a little astonishing here is we went from 31% celebrate Christmas to 2%. So that really does tell you how much, how much of the population really celebrates each of the days. Our third celebration is one I know almost nothing about, but I am extremely curious, and that is Kwanzaa. This is going from December 26th to January 1st. This is an African American holiday. So, and this one, this was kind of neat to find out. The historical background is this was founded in 1966. So, what we're talking, we're talking 80 years ago, 80, 60 years ago almost. So I mean, yeah, this is very. Jesus, Zach, it's your birthday. You know how old it is. But yeah, so 60, yeah, just about 60 years ago, by Dr. Mulan Karinga, and please forgive me if I mispronounce the name. Mulana Karinga. Kwanzaa was created as a culture and political response to civil rights movement, emphasizing African heritage and unity. The name Kwanzaa derives of the Swahili phrase, ooh, Matunda ya Kwanzaa, meaning first fruits. Percentage of global celebration estimates approximate 2 to 3% of African Americans actively celebrate Kwanzaa. So again, we are talking about 2 to 3% of African Americans. The significance: this honors they're able to honor their African roots while fostering principles like self-determination, cooperative economics, and creativity. Beautiful. The most important aspects are the lighting of the Kinara and daily reflection on the Nagazu Saba. The seven principles of are essential, promoting unity and cultural pride. Again, something I know very, very little about, but it is really neat seeing that they are, that is there for them and for their culture. I cannot wait to learn more about this. If you are Jewish and would like to join us next year, please hook back up with me so we can have you on to talk about this next year. If you celebrate Kwanzaa, I would love to talk to you. I would love to learn more. If you celebrate Yule, which happens December 21st through January 1st, Yule is a pagan or a neo-pagan Germanic or Norse roots. So this is one of those that was celebrated by the Norse or the Vikings and the barbarian um, uh, Germanic tribes. Yule predates Christianity and was observed by ancient German and Norse peoples to honor the winter solstice. The festival marked by the return of the longer days and the rebirth of the sun. Traditions such as the Yule log and feasting have influenced the modern Christmas practices. Percentage of global celebrants. While the exact numbers are hard to determine, Yule is celebrated by many Wiccans, neo pagans, and followers of reconstructed Germanic religions. Significance symbolizes the cycle of life, death, and rebirth, connecting people to natural rhythms. The most important aspects are burning the Yule log and celebrating the solstice are key rituals, representing light to overcome darkness. The one thing about this, and this is something that I've studied quite. It interests me. It really, really interests me, and I've always found this so very fascinating. But it is funny to me how many stories appear in all these different religions, as they were talking about. We as families have taken away the feasting and the remembering and stuff like that from Yule. So this is something that we've mixed into the Christianity practice of Christmas. In almost all religions from the beginning, there was always a giant flood or a story of a David and Goliath um, type of story. The trials of individuals. The trials of Thor. Uh, there's just so many similarities in a lot of things. So just do please remember that, you know what, because somebody doesn't celebrate like you, this is a chance to get to know them instead of forcing them to. We're not the way it was back in the yeah, early days of civilization. We do have room for more than one religion. This is one that affects a lot of things, and it's the winter solstice. This goes from December, or this is on December 21st or 22nd. I've known it mainly to be on December 21st, mainly, but uh, this is an astronomical celebration. Again, this isn't something that was celebrated by religion. This was celebrated by everyone. It's not even really a celebration. This is a new beginning. Like solstice, or the solstice has been observed by civilizations for millennia, with structures like Stonehenge, Newgrange, aligning to mark this event. Ancient Romans celebrated with Saturnalia, which we will be talking about, and Native American cultures also held solstice ceremonies. This is observed globally through specific ceremonies, and now, uh, though these specific ceremonies are now less common, I really hope that that actually stops and that comes back a little bit. The significance marks the shortest day of the year in the Northern Hemisphere and return of longer days, symbolizing renewal and hope. The most important aspects are recognizing the transition in nature and celebrating new beginnings through feasts, storytelling, and rituals. So this is a beginning. That was just the first five. When we come back after this wonderful little program that was brought to you by one of our newest community pay it forward partners, I will continue this. But this is a holiday meditation. So if you want to take some time and find yourself a nice quiet spot to get a load off your mind, maybe you're getting ready to cook and you know you're going to be stressed out. Let's take some time. Let's relax. Let's breathe through, and let's make sure that you're taking care of yourself in this very, very stressful time. So, so again, please enjoy the holiday meditation with Carole Hodges. Well, eventually, I guess. Here we go.
As we begin, take a deep breath and relax. If you are in a car, either pull over and stop, or turn off the CD until you can get to a place where you can sit comfortably for at least 20 minutes with your eyes closed. Now take a deep breath and relax your stomach as you exhale. Continue to breathe, and on your next exhale, sink deeply into your chair. Close your eyes and release any tightness in your face and jaw. Allow your shoulders to soften. Release any tension, letting it drop away. Enjoy this time of quiet and peace. With your next breath, feel yourself floating up into the clouds. You drift away, leaving any concerns behind. Drifting and floating, you look down below and see an open meadow, a large field of grass open to the sky. In the middle, you see an immense fir tree. It is a holiday tree, sitting alone, awaiting your visit. Breathe in the scent of evergreens. Take in the clean, fresh air. Let it fill your lungs as each breath relaxes you deeper and deeper. Now, begin to gather the people around you who will participate in this special ceremony of release and renewal. In a few minutes, you will invite groups of people to your special tree. This is an opportunity to release energetic ties with each of them. You will feel more at peace. Each person you release is free to grow and evolve more fully. Later, you can either allow some people to fall away from you completely, or you can renew the energy between you. Release opens you to seeing people with freshness and openness, strengthening supportive relationships. As you call people to mind, you will speak to each of them. Those that join the tree will find a place in the branches, like ornaments. Bring people to mind as we begin. First, invite exes to come to the tree. Ex-husbands or wives, ex-boyfriends or girlfriends. As they arrive, ask each one of them, "Do you fully support my magnificence and the direction I'm taking in my personal evolution?" If they say yes, you may let them go or ask them to stay. If they say no, definitely have them stay. Now invite childhood and school friends to come. Bring them gently into the branches and ask, "Do you support my magnificence and the direction I'm taking in my personal evolution?" If they say yes, you may choose to have them stay or allow them to leave. If they say no, then absolutely have them stay. Remember, you can reconnect with anyone easily just by thinking of them. Continue to breathe deeply. Invite your friends to come. As they float into the branches, ask, "Do you fully support my magnificence and the direction of my personal evolution?" If yes, you may ask them to stay or allow them to go. But if they say no, absolutely have them stay. Now, remember work associates. Invite coworkers and employees. Ask each of them, do you fully support my magnificence and the direction of my personal evolution? If they say yes, you choose whether they stay. If they say no, absolutely have them stay. Invite your clients, people you serve. If you are a teacher, invite your students. See them join the branches and ask, do you support my magnificence and the direction of my personal evolution? If yes, they may stay. If they say no, definitely have them stay. Invite bosses or anyone who has ever acted like a boss. Ask each of them, do you support my magnificence and the direction of my personal evolution? If yes, choose whether they stay. If no, absolutely have them stay. Invite your teachers and those who have taught you in any way. Ask them, do you support my magnificence and my personal evolution? If they say no, definitely have them stay. Take another deep breath. Invite extended family, cousins, aunts, uncles, and their families. Ask each of them, do you fully support my magnificence and the direction I'm taking in my personal evolution? If they say yes, they may stay. If they say no, definitely have them stay. Invite your siblings, brothers, sisters, anyone who has acted like a brother or sister. Do you fully support my magnificence and my personal evolution? If yes, decide whether they will stay. If no, positively have them stay, knowing that you can reconnect whenever you want. Invite children. Your children, even if they are grown. Children you know. They may be special to you in some way. Ask them, do you completely support my magnificence and the direction of my personal evolution? If they say yes, then you decide whether or not they will stay. If no, absolutely have them stay. Invite grandparents and anyone who has acted like a grandparent. Whether they are alive or have passed, they are here now. Ask them the question. Let them take a place in the tree. Now your parents and anyone who has acted like a parent. See them. Ask, do you fully support my magnificence and the direction I'm taking in my personal evolution. If they say no, absolutely have them stay. Invite your partner, your husband, your wife, your intimate partner. Do you fully support my magnificence and the direction I'm taking in my personal evolution? Have your partner stay to open your heart in a new way. Invite anyone else who should be here, asking, do you support my magnificence and my personal evolution? Gently invite yourself to sit at the top of the tree. Why not? You will bring a fresh awareness to your attitudes and beliefs about yourself. Notice you can be both in the tree and looking down on it. Looking at the many ornaments in the tree below, you become aware of the thin, wispy cords that come from each person in the tree and attach to you. These spider-webby umbilical cords are the energetic ties. They were created as you interact with others. You can clearly see the web of energetic ties below. In a moment, you will have a conversation with all the people in the tree. What you will say is something like this: I forgive you. Do you forgive me? As you ask this, know that at a very deep level, you can initiate forgiveness for others, and they for you, because it is all one. You are really only forgiving a part of yourself. Now it is time to start. Speak to each person in your tree. I forgive you. Do you forgive me? Notice that forgiveness can begin to flow, perhaps slowly at first, and then more easily. Notice that you can both give and receive forgiveness. Understand that you are only forgiving a part of yourself. Know that you can do this now, forgiving and being forgiven, gently and easily. Forgiveness flowing between you. Now begin to see a ball of light glowing above your head. The light becomes brighter and more brilliant, coming ever closer. As the huge ball of light floats right above your head, you feel calmness and warmth. Your crown chakra opens to receive. The light becomes liquid, flowing in a constant stream to every part of your body. passing through your forehead, throat, heart, solar plexus, sexual organs, down your thighs and to your feet. You feel the warm, flowing light, infinite source of love, truth, healing. Every cell of your body fills with a calm sense that you are fully and completely loved. The power of spirit is complete in you. Light flows freely within you, comforting and soothing. So much liquid light fills you. You cannot hold it all. It overflows down the energetic ties to every person on the tree. Infinite love and light reaches from you to every person below. And as you bask in the warmth of love, inspiration, and healing, you notice how good it feels to share your light. You continue to be filled with flowing light as each of the people below glow ever more brightly with love and light and healing, until everyone is filled with the incredible healing light flowing through you. In this moment of completion, it is time to release the energetic ties. Up and to your right, you see large steel blades appear. These blades have a special purpose. They will sever your energetic ties. And as you watch, the blades zoom in, and in a single stroke, they sever the ties between you and everyone on the tree. The sight below is incredibly beautiful. As energetic ties drop, every person below illuminates the tree with their individual beauty and light. You pull any dangling ties into yourself and become whole. Then, to your amazement, all of the people below begin to float away. You have given them freedom to grow and develop in their own way. Around the tree, they become fireflies, drifting and darting as they fly away. Breathe in the beauty as the individual lights move around the tree and slowly disappear. As you watch the light, you feel warm, knowing that you have given each person a gift of freedom and blessing. You release each person to be more fully themselves. When you are ready, it will be easy to reconnect with anyone by just thinking about them or speaking with them. When you do, you will have new understanding. Any relationships that don't serve your growth can be released forever. You can choose people around you who support your highest purpose and intention. The firefly lights leave. You are alone, peaceful and quiet. Light continues to flow through you and provide a glow outward. Feel the warm light in your feet and toes, up your calves, over your knees and thighs. Allow the warmth to flow over your belly and around your hips. Feel the soothing warmth up through your chest, around your back. Your neck and arms relax as the warmth flows over them, completing the warm glow up your face, relaxing your mouth and eyes. The flow circles in your head as you relax completely. Magically, light flows from your head to your toes, filling you with wholeness, healing, and love. You reverberate with changing color, shimmering and flowing. You are open to wonder, connected to all that has changed within you. As you breathe, you feel the light pulse through you, energizing every cell. This warmth and light is yours to keep now in the holiday season and throughout the year. When you are ready, float back to present time, knowing you can celebrate the holidays with a new sense of freedom and clarity. You may find that you attract more supportive people in your life. You continue to grow and evolve in the fullness of spirit. Namaste.
Atol's Wonderful Christmas by Henley Santa, illustrated by Mudassir Abid, with an introduction by Michael Rosen. As far back as Atol could remember, he'd always wanted a dog. He asked his mum every year and she always said, "We'll see." At last Mum said, "Santa will bring you a dog this Christmas." Just before Christmas came around, there was a great flood and the river burst its banks. The dog that Santa was going to give Atol was washed away in the flood. Santa was not able to find another dog for Atol anywhere. Santa said to Atol's mum, "All I have on my sleigh to give Atol is this drumstick. I will load it with Christmas magic and we will see what happens. I must give him a present because he is such a good and kind boy. As soon as I finish my last few deliveries, I will look for his missing dog." Atol was sad at first, but he made the best of it and treated the stick as if it was a dog. "Look, Mum, I trained my stick to do tricks. He can do stay, lie down, play dead, roll over, and fetch." Mum laughed and called, "Atol, take your stick and play outside." Atol tied a bit of string round his stick and took it for a walk. Across the river he met the village baker. She was surrounded by black smoke, coughing and crying. "What's wrong?" "The river flooded and all my kindling is wet. I can't light my fire to bake my bread." "I have my stick. It is dry and will burn well. You can break it up to start your fire." Atol waited with the baker as she broke the stick and lit her fire. She started to bake the bread. She was very grateful and gave Atol some flat bread called roti, all spread with butter. And Atol thought, "What a strange Christmas. I wanted a dog, but I got a stick that turned into some bread." Atol walked along. He heard a baby crying. The baby sounded very upset. He saw the village potter holding her baby, rocking him back and forth. Atul said, "What's wrong with the baby?" "Oh, my baby is really hungry, but the baker isn't baking because of the flood, so we have no fresh bread for him." Atul said, "I have this fresh warm bread. You can have it for the baby." The potter gave some of the roti to the baby, and the baby stopped crying at last and fell asleep. "Oh, thank you," said the grateful potter. "Here, Atul, have one of my big wash pots." Atul said thank you and walked on. He thought, what a strange Christmas. I wanted a dog, but I got a stick that turned into some bread that turned into a pot. Just then Atul heard someone shouting. He crossed back over the river and saw the village laundryman shouting and kicking a broken washpot. Atul said, "What's wrong?" The laundryman said, "I left my washpot near the river last night. The flood has smashed it on the rocks and broken it. I can't do the laundry." Atul said, "I have this big washpot. You can have it." The laundryman said that would be marvellous and thanked Atul. Then he said, "Atul, I have this coat that nobody has collected. You must have it." He gave Atul a warm coat. Atul thought to himself, what a strange Christmas. I wanted a dog, but I got a stick that turned into some bread that turned into a pot that turned into a coat. Atul walked on further, and he saw an old man who was standing in wet underwear. The rest of his clothes were spread out on a bush to dry. He was shivering and quivering and sneezing. "What happened?" asked Atul. The man said, "I jumped into the river to rescue this little dog. He was caught on a tree branch in the water. My clothes are soaked through and I'm freezing." Atul said, "I have this lovely coat. You can have it to get warm." The man wrapped the coat around himself and gradually warmed up and stopped shivering. The man said, "Thank you, Atul. Will you take this dog I rescued and give him a good home?" Atul said, "Yes, please. I always wanted a dog." Atul went straight home with his dog, ready to surprise Mum. He thought to himself, what a strange and wonderful Christmas. I wanted a dog, but I got a stick that turned into some bread, that turned into a pot, that turned into a coat, that turned into my very own dog. I will teach my dog good tricks. The end.
That truly is a wonderful story. That is my friend Santa, the Hensley Santa from over in the UK. Just one of the gentlemen who is helping us out with this. Santa took a break from his world travels to read a couple stories for us. So you're going to hear one more story while Santa is over Hensley in the UK. He stopped to record a couple with me. So you're going to hear those. And then you're going to hear from another Santa that is right here when he was right here in the US. And he stopped and took and recorded a couple stories for us. We're going to be playing those a little bit later on. So, kids, I really hope that you can uh, take and tell mom and dad that you want to watch and Santa Claus as Santa Claus reads his stories, and then And then remember, here in a couple hours, we're going to replay Maggie Van Galen as she reads The Banana Tree, which was her book, her first book, right here. And the author of this book, which is the first in the series of the adventures of Kino and Ernest, was the first thing that we got to do on the first hour of the event. We are now entering into hour number 4. So I welcome you to a community. I'm sorry, a miracle of a community that cares. If you would like to learn more about what we're doing this year, leading up to next year, because this will happen again next year, and we would love to have you on board. Please scan this QR code and you can see what's going on. If you'd like to participate, we would love to have you. No better time to get prepared than starting right now as we continue to go on to move on through this show and to educate and bring people together. We left off with the winter solstice last hour, learning a little bit about what is going on in the world and what people are celebrating and what it's about. We talked about Christmas, we talked about Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Yule, and the winter solstice. Next up, we have Bodhi Day, which was celebrated on December 8th. This is a Buddhist religion, Bodhi Day. The historical background, this day commemorates Sid, wow, I am really going to butcher this name, and I should have looked this up. Siddhartha Gautama's enlightenment, and I am so sorry that I messed that up. So please, any Buddhist, please, if you can help educate me, I would greatly appreciate it. Under the Bodhi tree around 500 BCE. So again, this is another religion, or this is another. This has been another thing that has been happening since even before Christmas. So this has been celebrated for, well, pretty close to 1,000 years before Christmas, 800 or 700 and some odd years. So the percentage of global celebrants, approximately 7% of the world identifies as Buddhist, and many of those observe Bodhi Day. Significance represents awakening, wisdom, and the realization of the life's truths. Okay? The most important aspects of Bodhi Day are meditating on Buddha's teachings and the importance of compassion and mindfulness. So this actually, and believe it or not, I did not plan this out. I had no idea that was what this was about. I didn't really have time to take and look over my information before that happened, but you can go back for the last 25 minutes and watch Carole's meditation, and maybe that'll help you. I don't know if you're like me, but I am terrible at non-meditated or non-guided meditation. I have to have, I have to have somebody walking me through meditation. And then if it gets to where you have to do chants or any of that stuff, or any self, I consider it like self-idolization. I'm no good at that. I just, look, I can relax and not talk about me. I don't want to talk about me. I want to relax my mind. And when I talk about me, I get a little frustrated. Even here now, I'm feeling, ugh. So maybe next year On Bodhi Day, which again, just so where'd it go? Uh, on the 7th of December, 8th of December. I'm sorry about that. Maybe you can take and get with us, and we can uh, get you that recorded message from Carole. But don't wait until then. Make sure you go back and listen to that, because it is relaxing and it will help you get through some of the last minute things that you have to get done. December 6th is St. Nicholas Day, and this is a European Christian holiday. St. Nicholas was the 4th century bishop in Myra, modern day Turkey, known for his generosity and miracles. His legend inspired the modern day Santa Claus traditions. I remember watching something on the Discovery Channel the other day where they were talking about there was a family who couldn't eat, and he threw money through their window, and that brought up the whole chimney thing to where he, that's what inspired that, him coming through the home and dropping money through a window. So um but yeah, many of his stories about generosity and some of the great things that he did for the people in his community, that he's the reason why we've got Saint Nick, ergo the gentleman who just told our story a minute ago. um Percentage of global celebrants. This is celebrated primarily in Europe, especially in countries like Germany, the Netherlands, and Hungary. Significance: honors the spirit of giving and kindness embodied by Saint Nicholas. Again, if you have like HBO Max, or you have history, or I'm sorry, Discovery on demand, go back to Expedition, whatever, Josh Gates show. It Well, it's Discovery Channel, so everything's the Josh Gates show. But he did a wonderful job on explaining Santa Claus and Saint Nick. So go back and watch that. Do yourself that favor, because it helps to understand why. Okay. And I think it's also something that's really good if you're one of these people who believes that we're kind of losing the religious aspect. It really does kind of tie in the way that we give. Look, I understand what you're saying about that. I'm never going to be one that's going to throw more religion at anything. It's just me. But I really think that if you understand that this is based off somebody who was sainted, you understand that this is part of the celebration of everything. So, but yeah, the most important aspects are the art of giving, often small tokens or treats reflecting on the saint's charitable legacy. Thank you, Mr. Saint Nicholas, uh, for being a good guy. Uh, I just realized this too. This is one. I think this is where the celebration of those poinsettias. Las Posadas is our next one. Number 8, Las Posadas, December 16th through the 24th. This is Hispanic Christians. The historical background originating in 16th century Mexico. Las Posadas reenacts Mary and Joseph's journey to Bethlehem. The tradition was introduced by Spanish missionaries. Percentage of global celebrants. predominantly observed in Mexico and Latin America, with growing popularity in the US Hispanic communities. So that is great because we're finally finding one that is actually that's growing. So this is one that more people are finding, that are learning more about. And that's really what, again, that's what we want to do. We want to know why somebody celebrates the way they do. We don't want to we don't want to discount the way that they learn things. So Las Posadas is growing in the world, and especially here in the US. The significance is it reinforces the themes of hospitality, faith, and perseverance. Again, no room at the inn. You can sleep out in a little shed outside in the manger. Most important aspect, the nightly processions and reenactments are vital, uh, emphasizing in community and devotion. And this one is going to embarrass the hell out of me for one reason. My son arrived here on Friday with his very beautiful Japanese girlfriend, Maka. He grew up in Japan, well, obviously. And so I'm going to try to say this word and really embarrass myself in their eyes. I'm glad that they are upstairs because they're not used to, real time zones. I mean, it's already tomorrow there in Japan, so they're really confused right now. Amasoka, I is the best guess I've got. It's called Amasoka, and it is celebrated on December 31st. The cultural origin is Japan, rooted in Shinto and Buddhist practices. Omasoka focuses on purification and renewal to welcome the new year. The traditional dates back to centuries. Dates back centuries. Again, one that's very old. Percentage of global celebrants, while primary observed in Japan, Japanese communities worldwide participate in this. The significance, it represents the transition from old to new, cleansing oneself of past negativity. Boy, we all need to celebrate this one right now. The most important aspects are cleaning and the symbolic act of eating tashikoshi soba to ensure longevity and prosperity. Okay, let me look this up right now. Where'd you go? OSH. Not TT. TOSHIK. And if this says bleach, I'm going to not be happy. Okay, here we go. Tashikoshi soba is sorry about the slowness of the computer. It's a crossover. Okay, it's a noodle soup. And this is according to Wikipedia. Let's see here. I'm trying to find all of the recipes. Sorry about the dead air here. I am trying to find the recipe for it. Uh, Look at that right there. Okay, the recipe for Toshikoshi soba. Yep, I already don't like it. It is Japanese, and it does concern fish, so I already don't like it. It doesn't look terrible, but let's see. What table of contents? Where's the jump to the recipe? Easy Japanese cooking. I don't think there's such a thing as easy Japanese cooking. I know every once in a while I make a few dishes that are very complex. Dried soba noodles, which are buckwheat noodles, water, uh, kombu, which is dried kelp, ugh. uh, katsubushi, which are dried bonito flakes, sake, mirin, light colored soy sauce, kosher salt, dried seaweed, kamboko, which is a fish cake. Oh God, that just bleh. Green onion or scallions, and sashimi uh, togarashi, which is Japanese seven spice. So there you go. That is the eating of um, Toshikoshi soba. So sorry about the dead air there. You know what? I was just interested because, like I said, my son's here with his beautiful girlfriend. Her I guess it's her second time in the United States, but it's first time ever here in Colorado. So she's just a wonderful person so far. You know, she struggles a little bit with her language, but she knows Japanese, which means she's a hell of a lot smarter than we are. I don't think you understand how many different dialects there are in the Japanese um, speech. I know my son went to college for it, and he's still got certain dialects that he has no idea what they're saying. So, and I don't know. We have we have accents. They have dialects. So, you know, our next is Festivus. This is a secular or one that's pop culture. Okay, December 23rd. So guess what? As I am recording, it is Festivus. The historical background is this was first introduced in 1997 episode of Seinfeld. Go figure. Festivus humorously critiques the commercialization of holidays. Interesting. So I'm already kind of over Festivus. Percentage of global observers celebrated by fans of Seinfeld and as a quirky alternative tradition. Significance challenges traditional holiday norms, focusing on simplicity and humor. The most important aspect, the airing of grievances and light-hearted commercial spirit. Or communal spirit. Sorry, communal spirit. Sounds like one hell of a day today. So, I got to go to the store later on, so I'm looking forward to everybody who's celebrating Festivus. Boxing Day. This is one that I watch a lot of Canadian television because I watch a lot of hockey. So I hear quite a bit about Boxing Day, but I have no idea what it is. So this is great. December 26th. Cultural origin, British or the Commonwealth, which is, of course, Canada. And historical background, dating back to the 19th century, Boxing Day originally involved giving alms and gifts to the less fortunate. I already love Boxing Day. A percentage of global celebrants observed in the UK, Canada, Australia, and other Commonwealth nations. Excuse me. Significance is highlights generosity and leisure after Christmas. Most important aspect, giving to those in need and enjoying time with family and friends. I love Boxing Day. Boxing Day might be my new favorite holiday. We might have to start celebrating it here in Colorado. So, Saturnalia, December 17th through 23rd. So today, again, as I am recording, this is the last day of Saturnalia. This is the uh, the Roman um, pagan celebration. Uh, Celebrated in ancient Rome to honor Saturn, the god of agriculture. Saturnalia includes feasts, gift giving, and reversing social roles. It influences it influenced many Christmas cultures or customs. Percentage of global observers historically now celebrated by modern pagans and history enthusiasts. The significance is it symbolizes abundance, equality, and renewal. And the most important aspects of Saturnalia are the communal feasting, the spirit of equality that were central to Saturnalia. So, um, yeah, that right there, they were celebrating to try to get better crops for the year. You know, so what a wonderful, wonderful day. Now, when I get back from this next video, what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about New Year's and the celebration of this will strictly be the our Americanized New Year, and it's actually not just Americanized New Year. It's all over the world, but uh, it is the New Year's that we celebrate on December 31st on to December 1st. Our next story is one that really brings to light why we're doing what we're doing. I was invited by Maria to join one of her courses with people who are suffering due to a loss in their family because of the holidays. And it hurt to watch all of these great people in this much pain. You think to yourself, wow, this is just not fair that somebody has to celebrate this upcoming holiday that we're all supposed to love and celebrate and do all this stuff. we're supposed to, you know, we're expecting them to just take and celebrate with us. And, you know, Maria brings up a lot of great points about, she lost her son to cancer and she heard a lot of things. And a lot of these things were just, they're kind of a slap in the face. So I'm very proud because Maria is a sister in the giving partnership. But this is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful story that I got to talk to her about. This is Maria Belinac from Healing Heart. And I really hope you enjoy this. Just make sure that you have a tissue next to you because you very well could need it. So, Maria Belinac, and I'll talk to you again soon. One of the reasons why we're doing this program here today, A Miracle of a Community That Cares, is because this is a very hard month for some people. My next guest knows how hard these seasons can be for people. She experienced this firsthand. She experienced a lot of tragedy in a little amount of time. And I'm not trying to laugh at that like I'm downplaying it. It's just it's amazing her story, how strong she had to be to stand up and continue. Maria from Healing Heart, how are you doing?
Oh, thank you so much, Zach. It's always an honor to be on your show and to talk, of course, about my favorite topic.
Yeah. It might not be your favorite topic, but I was at one of your courses just a couple weeks ago. And it was it was one of the things that Maria, I do the 22-hour podcast where we talk a lot about the suicide and the loss of our heroes. And there are times I've told everybody that in that show, I go from where I am laughing so hard I'm falling off my seat to where I just want to crawl underneath my desk and not come out again. And we were hearing stories and we were listening to some of your guests as they were talking about the recent loss of a loved one and having to go through this year without them. And I wanted to just come on. I couldn't stay for the whole thing. And I just came on and wanted to express my gratitude to him. And I felt like I had a frog the size of Chicago in my throat. It was mind blowing how wonderful you put that together and how much you were helping those ladies. Can you tell people about your story and what led to this wonderful program that you've put together?
Oh, thank you so much, Zach. And as you said, when we're in the muck, when my son had passed away many years ago, and you're in the muck, you don't see what's possible. You basically are in this heartache or whatever challenges that we're facing, and we feel that this is going to be our life forever. And we never see a way out of it. And what I found was that the more people gave these platitudes, oh, there's a reason, there's this, there's that, the more I think I wanted to shout out loud for everyone to either, I swear here, to either F off or to shut up, because basically it was more disrespectful. And what I was discovering is that the more people gave these platitudes, the more disrespected I felt. And the more disrespected I felt, the more internal I became. And I think a lot of people go through that where we internalize about our self identity, our self worth, and we become almost a shell of ourselves. I mean, that's what I had come. And it was only when I kind of figured out because of my grief that it wasn't going anywhere. that it was going to stay with me.
Yeah.
And that was when it almost felt like this burden had been lifted off my shoulders. It's not to say that life became any easier or anything like that. It's just this freedom that you get saying, I don't have to hide anymore from my feelings, from what I'm thinking. And if the people around me don't get it, it's not my problem anymore. It's theirs, right? Because everyone, we're all dealing with challenges that we have in life.
And one of the questions that you're really talking about is when people come up to you and they've got the attitude of, "Oh, are you still on this?" Or, "When are you going to get over this?" And it's just an insensitive question. I'm pretty sure that people don't come up to you very often. I'm going to say very often because we know that there are certain people out there who just have no boundaries, and they don't mean it as in an insult to you. It's just kind of one of those things that, you blurt out and you're like going, wow, I really could have handled that differently. But it's one of those questions that is asked of you that you're like, wow, you're a jerk. How could you ask me that? Because you're talking about the loss of a loved one. There is, as you said, there's no getting over that. I know one of my very best friends in the world, John Vogels. He talks about how after the loss of his son, Bladen, at 3 years old, you know, Bladen would be 12 now. And John talks about it as I still wake up every morning with the worst case of heartburn I've ever had. My heart still hurts every day. You're never going to get over it.
Mhm. And that's exactly why I called it healing heart, because our hearts, I mean, they're not broken in the sense of, because our hearts do not look like the heart shapes that we
Yeah.
constantly draw or what. Um, so they're not in actual fact broken. We feel broken. And in healing our heart isn't about getting over anything. It's not getting over the death of someone, and it's not forgetting anyone. It's remembering with love and acknowledging the sorrow and the pain that we feel and turning that into sometimes a purpose. Uh, and I know people like to use the word meaning, but meaning doesn't mean there's a meaning behind it of, oh, there's a meaning of why this happened. There's a meaning of, it's not. It's about finding meaning within your own self of how to make those memories and the life that they impacted. How do we make that mean something to us without forgetting that they existed? Because I think a lot of times, what I always say in grief, and this is what the world doesn't understand, is that when they're telling you to move on, get over it, as a griever, it feels like, I can never forget. Why are you asking me to forget? So there's that struggle. And yet we forget that they existed, or the other people kind of don't. As a griever, we never forget. And so it's carrying them with us because as long as we live, they're here with us. And as you said, as your friend, when he shares his son's name, that's what we're supposed to do. I mean, I share my son Stefan, his journey, his life, because he was here, he was present.
Mhm.
And that's what we need to do. And that's what over the holidays, this pain sometimes intensifies. We see the empty chair, we see that empty place setting. We remember who was supposed to be here and isn't. And it's not about how many years have passed, whether it's recent, whether it's 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the line. They're always remembered.
Lost I and I've lost people in my life where I remember I'll just my grandfather I lost when I was 15 years old. And I still every time that the holidays come around, I still remember spending holidays with him, the holidays I did get to spend with him or with my grandmother and stuff like that. And that's where my losses are at. And I'm old enough to where, yeah, I've learned how to, those losses no longer crush me every year. They still affect me every year. I find more motivation in them now than I did before. It's like I remember how, you know, Mom and Grandpa did this. I think I want to try to do that and carry on that legacy. But that's something that comes with a lot of time. That's something that comes with a lot of personal growth and personal. I don't know if this is the correct way to say this. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but personal acceptance of the situation, not acceptance that they're gone. It's hard to accept that they're gone, but acceptance of your situation.
And everyone's going to be different. And that's the thing about grief. Everything's unique. And at any time, you can feel differently. And that's why sometimes I think there's no one, well, there isn't one size fits all. And to put on that expectation and the pressure that someone is supposed to do it one way, or because of the holidays, well, yeah, it's the holidays. So you're supposed to be celebrating. You're supposed to put that smile on. You're supposed to be cheery. No, there are days, I mean, maybe some years you want to go out and put the decorations on. Some years you just look at it and you're going, nah, I don't have the energy. I just want a simple flower. Or maybe I'm just going to have a candle this year. And I think we need to give ourselves that permission, that acknowledgement to say, you know what? This year I don't feel like celebrating. This year I don't want to do things. And it's okay if I don't. It's okay if I want to go out and be around people and be cheery and to say, you know what, this year I just want to have things simple. I want to have it quiet because I just want to be not surrounded with people who are partying. So again, I think people have to go with what feels right for them.
Maria, how do we talk to the people who are going through this, and how do we tell them, how do you convince them this is your life that you're going through, okay? If you need to, how do we convince them it's okay to pull back a little bit, but not pull back completely?
Well, one, there's no convincing,
Eh,
right? We can't convince anyone. Uh, I think, or I believe, is really about just saying, you know, whatever you want to do is okay. Like if you want to be around people, that's okay. If you don't want to be around people, that's okay too. Or do a combination of both. I think a lot of times that expectation either comes from our past or sometimes from what we see on media, like the social media or the movies, where we all think that it's going to be this magical time, and all of a sudden within that time frame, everything just becomes magical and cheery. And then what happens afterwards? And so it's really about acknowledging people and saying, it's okay of whatever it is that you choose and leave it at that. I mean, one of the things is even if you're inviting someone to your house and say, look, come on over, see how you feel. Because one of the other flip side is that sometimes someone will come over, be around you, and they're having a great time. They're laughing, they're this and that, and someone else will just totally get it that they don't have a malicious intent. Someone in their lack of decorum or whatever will kind of sometimes say to people, oh, wow, aren't you so much better now? You're over it. And then that just stops the person from having a good time because all of a sudden it's like, oh, I can't laugh because that means I'm feeling disrespectful of the person who passed away. So I think it's about making someone else feel comfortable in whatever emotion they are feeling. And if they're having a great time, you know what? Just say, wow, I'm so glad that you came over and we had this time together where we could enjoy each other's company
it's
and
great to
laugh.
see you. It's great to see you out and about being normal again.
I wouldn't use the word normal.
Well, no, but I'm just saying that's how
Yeah.
insensitive we can be because we don't think about the words that we're saying a lot of times. It's, oh, look at you being normal again. They didn't grow a second head. They lost somebody. This is something that they're going through. Is it okay as a person who is inviting someone uh um who has experienced loss, is it okay to say, you know what, if this is not going the way that you're comfortable, come to me and we can have like an out, and we can discreetly,
Mhm.
get you out of an uncomfortable situation? Is that okay to do?
Definitely, because I think that's what keeps sometimes people from not going. Because sometimes they feel like, okay, I gotta go, and maybe they're feeling uncomfortable and they don't know how to leave. So that is excellent, right? Because I always say everyone should always have a plan B or an exit plan. And sometimes it could be easy as saying, "Oh, you got a phone call, gotta go get it,"
Yeah.
or having the person going, "Oh, yeah, I gotta go to the bathroom," right? Like the washrooms are a great place to go.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and it's I think one of the other things that you probably should do i- is try to make sure that you're not introducing this person as, well, hey, look, if you don't see this person smile, it's because they lost somebody recently. No, yeah, treat them with the respect of just introduce them, include them, right?
And introduce them like you would any other time. One of the worst ones that for me personally, that I really disliked is someone would come up and like, "Oh, you have to meet someone. You guys have so much in common. I really want you to meet." And then you're like, "Okay," so you go and meet the person, and they lost a child too. Well, you know what? That's not really common ground. It's not something, yes, it might be a commonality. I mean, I'm sure we could ask anyone, say if you're having a party, anyone at the table, if they experienced loss, I'm sure everyone at some point in their life has experienced loss. And that is the aspect that at times it's kind of like, yeah, commonality is not because I'm going to introduce you to someone else that said, guess what? They lost their grandparent too. So did you. There's a common ground.
It's not like introducing me to somebody who, hey, look, they're another Devils fan, I mean, hey, there's a conversation you kind of want to have.
Yes.
Okay. You don't want to meet, so, well, I guess I'm supposed to meet you because, you've had misery in your life as well. So let's be miserable together there. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Um, how often are your classes? Are your get-togethers?
So in starting in January, I'm going to be having, and I haven't really decided on what it's going to be called. So weekly, right? I do offer a 6-week program, which we meet weekly, and then I also give 15-minute sessions for people who need the extra time, or whenever you need that sort of extra support. And that will be starting in February, my program.
Okay. And people can find out more information about this by visiting you on LinkedIn.
Yes, they can come on LinkedIn or send me an email at hope@mariabelanic.com.
Okay, Maria, I want to give you one. I want to give you an opportunity to really tell people about Healing Heart and about what you do. That way, people who are experiencing maybe these difficulties and maybe see you as a way to help them through what they're going through, they can contact you. Can you just give us a little bit on Healing Heart and exactly what you are doing with Healing Heart?
Definitely. Thank you so much, Zach. So Healing Heart that I've created comes from the care framework that I've developed. And the care framework is about giving yourself compassion, having acknowledgement and awareness of your emotions and your thoughts. It's also about recognizing and releasing the guilt and the regrets that we carry. And it's also about evolving and empowerment for yourself. And because of this, because a lot of times in grief, we carry so much guilt and regret. There's the sadness and the sorrow. So I want everyone to know I'm not about offering fixing, because you don't need to be fixed because you're not broken. It's meeting you exactly where you are, whether your loss is recent or even if it's been years or decades ago and you do not feel seen and heard, because that's really what grief is about. Grief is about honoring who you are, who you're becoming, and honoring your loss and your loved one, but also to be seen, to be heard.
I want to ask you one more question before I let you go. And this was something I just kind of started thinking of. How should somebody who understands that somebody's going through something very painful, how should they introduce you to someone? Say I've got someone in my life who's experiencing loss and having a difficult time with them. The last thing in the world I would want to do is go, you need to talk to Maria. I don't think that would be a great way to approach it. In your opinion, in your experience, and with what you've went through, how can somebody take and say, hey, you know what, I heard a lady speak who I think might help you, but not make it sound like you need to talk to her,
Yeah.
she's going to change your life forever.
Because it is, it's true. And I mean, as soon as someone says you need help, it's like, what do you mean I need help, right? We all
Yeah.
have that defense mechanism.
Hmm.
Basically, I would say, look, I've talked to someone, I met someone, or I know of someone who offers grief support, right? She offers a 45-minute heartfelt call. Have a conversation with her and see if it's a right fit for someone to work with, right? I think a lot of times we know that we want support. However, sometimes we don't know what kind of support we want. And so a lot of grievers are looking for support. It's a lot of times it's like, where do they find that support? Where do they find the support that's right for them, that honors their beliefs? Because a lot of times is, yes, I may be faith-based, however, I'm not going to speak to someone about my faith if they're not believing in the universe or God or anything like that. Because because faith is, or spirituality is personal. And so,
And the truth is that it doesn't, in the end of it all, it doesn't matter if someone is Christian or Muslim or Buddhist or what. Loss is going to mean pain for
mhm,
people. Loss is going to mean recovery. Time is needed. Loss is going to mean it's all going to mean something different, but it's all going to mean the same thing, that loss is loss,
mhm,
right?
yeah, yeah. I always go, when you're asking a griever to accept, part of it is like, the griever already knows who's passed. They already know what their loss is. So they don't need to accept that. Acceptance, that's why I don't usually use the word acceptance. I use acknowledgement, because acknowledgement is about the feelings and the thoughts that we have. What is it that our bodies are going through? What is it that someone is struggling with, which is different than what someone else is?
Maria, if somebody is wanting to find a way to introduce you to a loved one, um, and they're just not sure how to ask, can they approach you and ask, hey, look, this is the situation. How would you go about the introduction? Would you be willing to take that phone call?
Oh, definitely. Yes. Right. I mean, they can send me an email at hope@mariabelanek.com. And again, I am on WhatsApp. So anytime they can contact me through there or text.
Well, Maria, our partnership has meant the world to me. I greatly appreciate everything that you have done, and I appreciate the invitation that really opened my eyes a couple weeks ago. It opened my eyes, but then again, it also closed them because I was crying when I got off, because I couldn't believe the unbelievable amount of love in that room with people who just needed to talk, and they needed to have someone understand what they were going through. And I appreciate you coming on to our event here to talk about something that, it's an unfortunate fact that there are going to be hundreds of thousands of people out there this time of year that are going through this for the very first time or the fifth time. And there's still that fact that they're still looking across at that empty chair.
Yeah, yeah. And that's really what everything is about creating that space of love where people can feel comfortable and safe in sharing their vulnerabilities because they know that this space has no judgment. It's judgment free. It's basically to be seen and to be heard and to know that they're not alone, that there's someone there that walks with them.
Well, again, I greatly appreciate you joining me. Thank you very much for being open and honest and talking to us about this. Again, this is a perfect place to understand that, look, this is a time of joy. This is a season of joy. This is a season of happiness. But you've got to remember, this is also a time of year that is very, very difficult for people. Understand that. Be open to the thought that, you know what, I'm going to be a little bit careful about what I say. Look, we all let stupid stuff slip every once in a while, but just remember, somebody, they're not back to normal. Things are not, you know, things are not, oh, it's good to see everything's better in your life or you're back to the way you should be. They're where they should be because this is the way they feel. So, but again, Maria, thank you so very much for joining us and
Thank,
being part of the miracle.
thank you, Zach. It's always an honor having a conversation with you.
Right. I am very honored to be sitting here with a brand new friend. I've met her at a couple networking events, and she's starting a networking event for everyone out there. That they're going to be releasing the information here pretty soon. It looks like Community Pay It Forward is going to be a huge part of that. But she is here to wish everyone a participate in a miracle of the community that cares. So, Holly, I'm leaving it up to you.
Oh, thank you, Zach. Yeah, the holiday season used to bring me a lot more joy than it does now. I will tell you that. I still love it, but I miss my kids and grandkids. I don't get to see them as much during the holidays because I moved away from them. But that was my choice. But I do love this season, and I do wish you a
One
happy
of the
season,
reasons why we're
happy
doing
holidays,
this
Merry
program here
Christmas,
today,
Happy New Year, and
A
just
Miracle of
think
a
that this
Community That
is
Cares,
can be the
is
brightest time of
because
your life if you make it that. Search for somebody to serve if that's what you need. If you need somebody to serve you, just ask for that and somebody will show up when needed. So happy Christmas. I hope you have a great new year.
Holiday, would you, or Holly, sorry,
Holly
Holly
Holiday.
Holiday, there we go. Holly, would you like to just send a special message to your kids and grandkids?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Shelby, Cheyenne, Zach, Amy, Taylor, Samantha, Alexis. I love you all and your significant others. And then my grandkids. I miss my little Rowan. That would be, I think, going on 18, but he passed away. But we've got Del Rey, Blakey, Henry, Lexi, Channing, and Camden, and Zach, and Melody, Maisie Ann. And then I have Eva and one I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever get to meet her, but I love her just the same. And hopefully that situation will turn around. But I love you guys. Merry Christmas.
Well, I'll tell you, your kids did you quite the favor by giving them easy names to remember. At least the Zach one did, that's for sure. So I
Well,
heard Zach in there twice. So a pretty popular name right now. So,
yeah.
but anyway, Holly, you're working. Tell everybody what you're doing and how people can get a hold of you, please.
So I work at Gateway Canyons Resort and Spa. My direct line is 970-931-2702. if you need a group. However, we are closed for the holidays, so we don't do holiday celebrations here until after April 1st. I do weddings and social gatherings, but if you just would like to celebrate an elopement, something like that as well, I'll help you put that together. But I'm also, like Zach said, putting together a community called People for People, and that is nationwide. And it is about bringing communities together, the supply chain, when you have disasters, knowing where you need to go and how to take care of things.
That's I love it. And so if you're looking to get married in a beautiful part in Colorado, the area she's in is just gorgeous, mountainy, just beautiful. So if you're looking to get married in colorful Colorado, what's the phone number one more time?
970-931-2702.
Holly, thank you so very much to you and your husband. I wish you a Merry Christmas. To all of your family. I hope that you all get to see this. Your mom can tell you. I'll let her know exactly when this is going to show. You can pop on and see your mom's message to you. So, well, Holly, thank you so very much.
Thanks, Zach. Have a great day.
You too.
Hey, hello. I was reading my book, Santa and the Gingerbread Man. I think you can see it clearly, can't you? What I thought I could do is I'll read the story to you, if I can manage. Here we go. Trouble is, of course, with gloves on, it can be a bit difficult. So, here we go. Here's the first picture. Yeah. It was Boxing Day, and the children were coming for tea. Granny baked some gingerbread men. They were the children's favourites. As she took them from the oven, one jumped onto the floor and ran out of the kitchen. Now, you see, this is where I struggle turning the pages. There we go. Granny shouted, "Stop, stop," and chased him. "Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man." Granny couldn't catch him. And the gingerbread man ran past a cow, and the cow shouted, "Stop, stop," and chased him. The gingerbread man called, "Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man." Cow couldn't catch him. The gingerbread man ran past a horse. The horse shouted, "Stop, stop," and chased him. The gingerbread man called, do you know what he called? He called, "Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man." The horse couldn't catch him. Oop, turned over a lot of pages here. Actually, I think the one was wrong there. There he is. The gingerbread man ran past a dog. The dog shouted, "Stop, stop," and chased him. The gingerbread man called, "Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man." The dog couldn't catch him. Now, there's where I got out of order. There we are. The gingerbread man ran past a fox. The fox shouted, "Stop, stop," and chased him. The gingerbread man called out, "Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man." And the fox couldn't catch him. Uh-oh. The gingerbread man reached the riverbank and had to stop. The fox said, "Nowhere left to run. That's rather unfortunate." The fox licked his lips. The gingerbread man was very worried. He was right to be worried, wasn't he? Just then, Santa landed in his sleigh. "We're on our way home. Jump up, little gingerbread man, and come with us. I won't let anyone eat you." Santa took the gingerbread man home to the North Pole. Can you see him there? Can you see him there with his friends, the elves? There we go. The elves loved the gingerbread man, and they made gingerbread man badges. From that time on, Granny baked no more gingerbread men. She made gingerbread trees instead. After all, they never run away. And that's the book. That's the story of Santa and the Gingerbread Man. I hope you liked it. I do, I must admit. That's perhaps my favourite book that I've written.
Whoever said ignorance is bliss never ran a business. Did you know the vast majority of businesses don't make their products accessible to people with disabilities? And did you know that the collective buying power of people with disabilities is over $2 trillion? And if you're a business owner, you need to know how to make your business accessible so you're not leaving this money on the table. I want to tell you about my family partners at Real Life Access, who can help you connect with this underserved market. Real Life Access clients experience three amazing things. First, a reputation for accessibility that brings customers to your door. Second, a freedom of worry about legal consequences from not being ADA compliant. And third, increased revenue. Real Life Access team members offer common sense accessibility solutions which won't break your budget. These are business people who understand the challenges faced by all small businesses. They are also people with disabilities who know what it takes to be accessible. Check out their courses, coaching packages, and so much more at reallifeaccess.com. You'll be glad you did. You have worked hard to build your brand. Community Pay It Forward thinks you should be able to build your own profile. And now, thanks to ZWorld Webs, you can. Start by scanning this code, choose your package, and share the important information your future clients need in order to find you. Because when they find you, we can help everyone. No one needs to go it alone when we all